You cannot lead these men unless you are prepared to do what is necessary. And where will I be leading these men? Gotham. What's up guys, Mikey here, and welcome to the Comic Junkies Corner. So we're here to talk about Gotham. Season 1, because that's the only season I've seen, that's the only one that's on Netflix. Up at the current point in time, there's probably going to be, I don't know by the time this video comes out if the new season will be on, the second season will be on Netflix or not, but the third season has already started airing, so should be interesting. But anyway, I'm here to talk about the first season. So a lot of origin stuff here, and yes, you do get to see the death of the Waynes again. Yep. In case you were not aware, Bruce Wayne's family, mother and father, are killed in Crime Alley in Gotham City. In case you were not aware of that, honestly, it's very quick. It's very quick. It's quick and painless death. No, it really isn't. I shouldn't talk about it like that. It's very morbid. But anyway, it's one scene that just happens, but you get to see the part of. If everyone has ever seen Batman Begins, you saw a little bit of Bruce Wayne as a kid, and automatically it kind of like made that jump to where he's already in college, and he tries to go after Joe Chill, the guy that killed his parents in the alley and everything. So this show particularly stays focused on the younger kid version. It just happened to him, so he's he's still a kid. He's still like the little kids, and it's following him through that, but it's also following Jim Gordon. Now, there's two things about the show that there's one thing about this show that it can kind of go either way, and for some people might like it. For me, I didn't particularly like it. But when the show focuses on Jim Gordon and sprinkles a little bit of Bruce Wayne in there, I like it. When the show focuses on Bruce Wayne and sprinkles a little bit of Jim Gordon in there, I like it. When the stories kind of intertwine, I kind of like it. But when you have something going on with Bruce Wayne and something separate going on with Jim Gordon, and you put them in the same show and you start doing these cuts, it does not. I don't like it all that much. It kind of makes the show kind of jumpy, and it's just kind of like, I feel like you need to focus on one particular person or one particular plot point or whatever. So, other than that, the show is pretty dang good. I was very surprised. Here's the thing. When I first heard about this show, I didn't want to watch it. And honestly, the only reason I didn't want to watch it is because it was on Fox. Now, I know like Batman the Animated Series originally started on Fox. If I'm not sure. I originally started on Fox, moved to the WB. But I was surprised that it was starting on Fox. I was just like, man, you got Gotham on Fox, you got Supergirl on CBS, and you got the Arrowverse on the CW. And I'm like, why are we doing the same thing that we did with the animated series, where we have all these characters everywhere, and because you have all these characters everywhere, you can't use them all in a setting, that kind of hurt a lot of Justice League, to be perfectly honest, of Justice League Unlimited, because if you notice, they couldn't use a lot of Batman villains or a lot of Batman stuff because Batman was used in other properties and everything. So I think they were all still Warner Brothers, but like, okay, they had, except for Teen Titans, it was like, okay, they couldn't use Robin or whatever. That was the main thing for the Batman. It's like they couldn't use Robin because Robin was still in this Teen Titans show, so they couldn't use him. So I don't want that to be a hindrance on the show, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch it, just because like all of these shows are very spread out everywhere, and I was kind of just unsure about it. But I had the Netflix account, and I said in a previous video, I got Netflix specifically to watch Arrow and The Flash, and which I was not disappointed. I saw all 3 seasons of Arrow over the summer, as well as of The Flash. But I saw Gotham, and I was kind of like, why not? You know, it's kind of like right off the heels of binge watching. What's the name of that show? Stranger Things. Awesome show if you haven't seen it. But it was right off the heels of watching that, and I was kind of like, school is going to be starting in like a week. I need to go ahead and just watch this or whatever. And when I got Netflix, there was a month free. So I was just like, hey, why not? I'll get it. And then like when financial aid starts coming in, I could pay like $7 a month. I should be able to do that fine. So started watching Gotham. I was intrigued right from the start. You have to sit through the Wayne's death again, but I was very intrigued right from the start, and especially when they added this little extra thing that goes on is where Selena Kyle, pre-Catwoman obviously, witnesses the death of the Waynes. I don't know how much she saw, but she says she saw the guy's face. And, just kind of like, she plays this game of cat and mouse. No pun intended. She literally plays this game of cat and mouse with Bruce Wayne, with the Detective Gordon, and it just, you see where she gets her detestability from. She has it right from the start. So, and she's one of those people, like, she sides with whoever is convenient for her. And I feel like she's learned that through probably living on the streets for so long and having to fend for herself. She's just kind of developed this, kind of sociopathic attitude to where she's just like, I'm going to, latch on to whoever is convenient for me at the time. And if it so happens that they're not convenient for me anymore, bye-bye. So, and that's basically what happens with her character. And her character's pretty interesting. Bruce Wayne is pretty interesting. He, right off the bat, wants to know what happened, why his parents were murdered. He starts like doing this little investigation. Some of it's kind of far-fetched, I won't lie about that, but there's a lot that goes on in the show that's kind of far-fetched. But it doesn't take away from the viewing experience. I'll say that much. There are certain things, like I say, when he's doing, I'm just kind of like, really? You're doing that? You can do that? You sure? But I guess it kind of like plays to Bruce Wayne's brilliant mind. Maybe he's always been this way, and this was the spark. This was that thing that just, he dedicated all of his time to this, and there's renditions of their stories about Batman's youth to where like he didn't play. He didn't have fun with other kids. He didn't interact with other kids barely. And you see that a lot in the show. You see that like he doesn't know how to talk to people. He really doesn't. He's very robotic in a sense to where like he talks he speaks very, very properly. Overly properly. And it's like almost robotic, but it's not. His delivery isn't robotic. He's very human. You can see he's very much human. He's trying to be very proper, and everyone around him's not. So he doesn't have enough social interaction to be able to develop this, regular speech patterns for the average Joe. So, so it's interesting to see him progress. But like I said, there's stories both in the animated series and in comics where like they talked about like he was not a normal child. He like when his parents died, like were killed, he didn't. He went to work trying to figure out why. So like there was, I think I can't remember what particular instance it happened, but he was talking to Alfred, and not in Gotham, but this happened in like I can't remember if it was a comic or if it was a TV show, but he's like, he's talking to Alfred, and Alfred's like, you never took the time out to play or anything like that. And Bruce is like, there was work to be done. And Alfred just kind of comes back on him, and he's just like, play is the work of children. So you can see, like, he never really had that childhood that to enjoy because he was so determined and so focused on his parents' murder that he's trying to put all these pieces together and to figure out why. And it's interesting because if it were me, it would be kind of, well, if it were anyone, I feel like if it were anyone else, it would be kind of understood that, okay, it was a robbery and they were killed. But I think what's probably bothering him a little bit is the fact that he's still alive. And the show has not hinted at that yet. Granted, I think he blames himself to a certain degree. I think they do hint on that a little bit. But he's still alive. So he's probably wondering, why did he kill them and not me? And it's very obvious in the show. Like the show explains it to you. Obviously, Bruce hasn't figured it out yet, but it's explained to you that this was a hit. This was a hit on the Wayne. Somebody wanted them dead. So Bruce is trying to figure out why. And it's interesting to see like all of the avenues and stuff and what he does and what he figures out. You know, going through all of his books, going through all of his father's stuff. And using any type of resource he can, and that includes Jim Gordon, which brings me to the other part of the show, which is about Jim Gordon. I see a lot of Batman Year One in Gordon's upbringing here. He's new to the force and everything like that, and he has a very he's stubborn and he wants to do what's right. He doesn't necessarily he doesn't want to go and be a patsy for these mob bosses. They want to be under Salvatore Maroni's thumb or Carmine Falcone. He doesn't want to be under their thumb. He wants to, the police are supposed to take down the bad guys. And that's what, that's his mentality. It's just like the police, we're good guys, they're bad guys, they need to be in jail, we need to be out there doing our job, and it doesn't work like that in Gotham. It's like you have to pick and choose your battles, and he's struggling with that throughout the show, and it's a good struggle because you definitely see like he's definitely rattling some cages with, the mob bosses, and gets himself into a lot of trouble very often. Now, there is a particular point in time where he should have been killed. His partner, and his girlfriend at the time, I don't think they were married yet, but his girlfriend at the time, Barbara, they're not married yet. So there is a particular point in time where, they should have been killed, and then they're just let go. And I think they're under, they were kidnapped, being held by Salvatore Maroni? Not Maroni. They were being held by Falcone. They were being held by Falcone. And he's just like, you know what? Go. Take it as a say, like a sign of a good gesture or something like that. And I saw that. I was like, bull crap. Come on. I mean, granted, I know Jim Gordon is not going to die. I don't want him to die, but it was just like, you had him and now you're letting him go. But then something happens later on. You're like, oh, okay. You get a pass on that one. But if that little scene explaining why you let them go didn't happen, then I would have been pretty ticked. So, it was just one of those things. You always see it. It's just like, no, let them go. We'll deal with them later or something like that. You see that in shows, you're just like, bull, come on. A real mob boss would not do that. You'd be dead right there. It would have been over. But they explain it as to why, and I'll get into that when I get into another character. So, like I said, Jim Gordon, Very good character. I like Jim Gordon. Like I said, very much Batman Year One. Like I think they pulled a lot from that as far as like how he is dealing with the Force and how he's handling things. Him getting Harvey Bullock to to get on his side and help him out and stuff. And there's a point where like nobody helps him, and he's facing down his certain death. And none of the cops back him up. None of them, except for I think the chief at the time, and like he tells her like, no, go away, I got this, because everyone else left. Everyone else saw like he was about to be killed. He was facing down death. There was an assassin there to kill him in a police station full of cops, and they all were just like, bye, bye, Felicia. And I'm like, no. Are you serious right now? So like, yeah. And I like how his character, in a sense, it's not really forgotten, because you don't forget something like that. You don't forget like all these people are supposed to have my back, and they just left me like here to die, and they're supposed to have my back. We're policemen. We're police officers. We're supposed to have each other's back, and they just left me. So that doesn't resonate well with him. And you see that throughout the rest of the season, where like he has this vendetta now. Now he has a real reason to start putting the corrupt cops and stuff behind bars. It's like, oh, really? Really? This is how you're going to treat me? All right, got you. No problem. So like, and there's times where like Harvey has to calm him down, because like he is going a little bit above and beyond where he should be going and stuff. So, like I said, Gordon's an interesting character. And when you have these two, Gordon and Wayne, and you have these two, and like you say, focus on Gordon, a little bit of Wayne, focus on Wayne, a little bit of Gordon, and when you have like when the plots intermingle, it's great. But when you have something, like I said, something different going on with Gordon, something different going on with Bruce, and then you're trying to put those two together, the show doesn't really work for that much for me, and it tends to like turn me off to it a little bit. They don't do it a lot, but there's quite a few episodes. I would probably say like maybe 10-15% of the show is kind of the episodes are kind of like that. It's like you gotta kind of force your way through those to get to the other good episodes and stuff. So Alfred. I wanted to talk about Alfred because Alfred's awesome. Alfred's always been awesome. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alfred has always been an awesome character, but you get to see the true father side of Alfred. You get to see like him raising Bruce and having to deal with raising a kid like Bruce Wayne. And you don't really get to see that. Every time of the time, you're just like, okay, yeah, he's this mentor, Batman v Superman mentor, the Dark Knight trilogy mentor, even like the old Burton Schumacher mentor, the animated series mentor. I mean, even like when they kind of wrote him out after a while, but like he was always a mentor to Bruce in some way, shape, or form, and you get to see him as more than a mentor. You get to see him as the father. And it's really great. It's really great to see that. You get to see his struggle. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know he literally calls Jim Gordon at one point. He's like, can you come over? Cause I don't know what to do. I have no idea. I'm lost here, so, and kind of guiding, he's lost because he doesn't know what direction to point Bruce in, and in a sense he can't, because if Bruce gives him an order, he has to follow it. So and I think that was one of the his Thomas Wayne's dying wishes was that whatever Bruce wants, give it to him. So that's what he's been doing, but in a sense, he's also been trying to be that father figure. And that's gotta be tough, because you work for him, you work for Bruce Wayne, but you know that Bruce needs help. So it just, it's interesting to see how he balances it, and it's great. Like the actor is really good. And like there's a point where like Bruce is being taught to fight, and he learns some fighting moves from another person, like some person from Alfred's past and everything like that, who winds up betraying him and stuff. So which is kind of par for the course. I think that's been like there's been something like that that's happened in every rendition of Batman, where like somebody from Alfred's past comes out, and then calamity ensues at some degree. But he's teaching Bruce some like fighting moves, and they're not like fighting moves, they're like it's like dirty fighting almost. It's just like, but Bruce is like, this is effective though, and Alfred tells them like patience and discipline are effective, you know. So you see that father side of him coming out, so it's really cool. Like I said, Selena Kyle's in it. You get something that interesting that happens with Barbara Gordon. I did not know that was going to happen. Is that Barbara flips her crap? She literally, like, she is put in so many situations, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. She is put in so many life-threatening situations, and she's forced to do things that she would never do, and then snap. She just lost her shit. There was, like I said, there was a part where, like I said, Falcone had them and could have killed them. Like she was kidnapped first, and Falcone could have was going to kill them if another character hadn't intervened or whatever. And he's just kind of like, okay, go ahead. But she was sure she was going to die, and in all honesty, Jim Gordon is just too wrapped up in his work, and that happens. And you could definitely see, like, okay, she needs some support, man. She needs some help. She's not doing well. You see it. You don't see much of her, but you see it in everything in her performance, in the actress's performance. You see in the characters, just like, I'm not doing too well right now. I need something. I don't know what's going on, but I need something. And you see that, and she just eventually leaves Jim, and it's unfortunate because I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I was just like, oh, they'll get back together. It'll be a thing that happens, but they don't. At least not in the first season, they don't. And she winds up going back to an old ex-girlfriend, and yes, I said ex-girlfriend. And she just kind of gets... Somebody kidnaps her. It's a serial killer. Somebody kidnaps her and forces her, literally, to kill her parents. And it was one of those things, he was doing things to get inside her head. He was, kind of borderline torturing her. And she just, after that occurrence... She snapped, and it was like, oh my gosh, dang, now Jim has to deal with this. I mean, granted, he's moved on, but it's like, golly, man, I didn't, that's so messed up, what happens to Barbara, and, you feel for her and him, but yeah, that's the thing. What else we have? I suppose I should go into the two characters that kind of the two villains that really keep the show going. The Penguin, and he doesn't like being called that, but Oswald Cobblepot is a big character in this series, and he, very much not right. He's he's another eccentric person or whatever, but he definitely isn't right. He takes pleasure in hurting others, to be perfectly honest. You see him early on, and he's beating the crap out of somebody. No, Fish Mooney, the person he works for, is Jada Pinkett, character, was beating up on somebody, and he starts doing it after she leaves and everything, and you can see he has this enjoyment out of it, and it's very creepy. It's very unnerving to know that he enjoys that kind of stuff. But he also has slight he has your normal everyday wants and stuff like that. He just he wants to be respected and everything, but he wants it all. He wants to be on top. He wants to be top dog. He wants to be the Don. He wants to own Gotham City. And a lot of that has to do with how he's been tortured as an individual. He's been bullied. He's been beat up all the time. And he wants that. This is his way of getting back, is to be in charge, to be the man of Gotham City, and that's what he wanted. So he was doing things, making moves left and right. He's a little slime ball, but you know what? To be honest, there's times where I rooted for him. You have to choose the lesser of two evils here. You got Fish Mooney or the Penguin. It's just like, I choose the Penguin right now. I do anyway, because Mooney. Jada Pinkett's character is really, she is gloriously over the top. I will say that much. She is gloriously over the top. Not as much as in Flash, where you have like the villains in Flash are just over the top hamming it up. But she's a little ham. She's a little sliver of ham. They're like this thick piece of ham in the Flash, but like she's like a little sliver of ham. But she is gloriously over the top with some of the things she does and her performances, and she is crazy. She is the definition of crazy. Like, there's a point where like she's tied up, getting the crap beat out of her. She's being tortured, and she's laughing and just like, "Oh, is that all you got?" or whatever. You would expect something like this out of the Joker, but you get it out of Fish Mooney, and she's scary. Yeah, there's times like she's really scary. This is a little woman. Skinny as all get out, probably like 5 foot. She's scary. Like you gotta think about it. It's just like, dang, Will. I mean, that's what you go home to every day. I mean, I'd be a little bit, I'd be on my P's and Q's all the time. I would not want to piss her off. You have Fish Mooney and you have Oswald Cobblepot. I'm going to root for Oswald. I'm sorry. I know he's disturbed as well. I know he has issues, but not her. Not her. Not a person that will literally, like, Oswald, he wants favors and stuff because, like, he likes when people owe him a little something, whatever. And you have like the two Dons. You have Falcone and you have Maroni, and they're like two clashing people, and they're trying to come with these agreements all the times. Maroni's a freaking hothead. Like, he just snaps at the drop of a hat over anything, and that's what I kind of felt about Fish Mooney. Fish Mooney snaps at the drop of a hat, but she's very, very much. You know how like there's this stereotype with women, and where they say like when they're mad, they don't let you know that they're mad right then and there. They'd be like, okay. I remember that. That's what she does a lot in this show. So it's like, you pissed her off, and she's going to get you back. But not right there. Maroni is just like, snaps, I'm going to get you back right here, right now. He's ready to go after it. But she buys her time. The only person that buys her time more than she does is Oswald, because Oswald really buys his time, and like, he just really he sits there in the trenches and just politely waits for, like, he'll put a bug in somebody else's ear, put a bug over here, and just kind of like sit there and watch, like also Mr. Barry stuff, like, excellent, But yeah, if I have to choose between the two, I'd choose Oswald. I'd rather. The lesser of all of those evils is obviously Falcone, but Falcone's getting old and he's losing control. So that was a big part of why this whole mob thing is really going on, is because Falcone is getting old. He's losing control. He has a lot of pull, but he doesn't have the pull that he had before. And at the end, there's this big brawl that happens. Fish Mooney supposedly dies. Supposedly. Maroni's killed. Falcone leaves, if I'm not mistaken. He just leaves. He's just like, nah, I'm done with all this. So it leaves Gotham completely open at the end of the second season. Now, I guess, to be honest, what's the name, Oswald got what he wanted. He's on top of the game right now. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know what's going to happen in season 2, but this one was it was a good show. It was a good series. I think it was like 20 something episodes. There was a few head nods to, not head nods, but like cameos, I guess, because they're not in the show long enough. You have a Joker cameo, like somebody who is eventually going to grow to be the Joker. You have the Graysons. Well, a Grayson and like the unmarried Grayson, basically. You have the from the circus, stuff like that. You have who else do you have? There's some other people, but it's cameos. They're in there for a short period of time, and then they're out. Like the story's not based around them; they're just there. There's a name that's just kind of thrown there, just like, oh, okay, I see what's happening there and stuff like that. But there's nothing big or anything like that. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what season 2 is going to bring. I enjoyed this season. Like I said, there was a few. Like I said, 15% of them was kind of like, I gotta get through this. But other than that, it's a great show. It's a great show. It was definitely worth the binge. So, and I did do that. I did binge. It was during the break, because I had a break between school and work. So I was off of work for a couple of weeks, and I didn't have anything to do. Didn't have any money to go anywhere. So I was like, hey, let's binge on Gotham. So I did that. So it was good. It was totally worth it. Totally worth the time. So anyway, yeah, I think that'll be it. So what did you guys think of Gotham? Who are your favorite characters? What's your favorite episodes? Whatever you think, put it in the comments below. Let us know. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. McBlam, and also go to my buddy JJ's blog at 4comicjunkies.blogspot.com. Follow him on Twitter at 4comicjunkies, and if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.